guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. That's from a guy. He is 38 years old. He is engaged. He's with his gal for 6 years. She's 37. And lo and behold, he's in a little situation right now which he needs our help. And trust me guys, you're going to enjoy very much assisting our brother here. You're going to see guys in his situation here that his gal recently went to a bachelorette party for herself, I believe, and ended up going to a strip club. The thing is, she hid it from him, and he found out by going on her phone one day to take a picture of the cat or something like that. I forget. Anyhow, here's the thing. 3 years earlier, she forbid him to go to a bachelor party where they were going to a strip club. So here we are 3 years later, and they're about to be married. She's his fiancée now, and he finds out that she did this, hid this, and it's, as you can imagine, unleashed a whole can of worms. Just a giant SHIT show. And he's writing and asking me, as well as you guys, what he thinks he ought to do in this situation. Should he kick her to the curb? All these types of things. Because his gut is telling him something is seriously wrong. He has no interest in having relations with her, even though they normally hook up all the time. He sees her as a hypocrite. He doesn't trust her. I'm sure doesn't trust her friends. And is questioning a lot of things moving forward this marriage. So that'll be a very good one to go over here. And I will hold off my response to the end of this story here, and I will share my own little personal story of the situation like this to give this guy some help here. So it starts off, says here, Dear SSM, I've been watching your videos for now about 8 months, and I always told myself that I'd never need to write to you about anything. Never say never, gentlemen. But it appears I was wrong and need some advice. So I'm 38 years old. I've been with my fiancée for 6 years. Okay, 6 years, that's a decent amount of time in there. I will just call her Stacy. I've always thought our relationship was really good, and I do love her. Do you know how many stories I've started where I thought our relationship was great, amazing, good, and then BS happens? We rarely fight. I don't mean to say we don't have disagreements, because we do. There just had never been any screaming matches between us. Bro, if there were screaming matches, then I would say you should have broken up with her. So you can have disagreements. That's okay, you know? But scream matches? No. Up until recently, she had never done anything to make me question her. So you think. Our engagement is recent. I popped the question 3 months ago, and that was when she moved into my place. Okay, 6 years you've been together. At that point now you're in your late 30s, obviously established yourself. You think she's qualified herself to be your wife. So you're popping the question, and now she's moved in with you as the final test. I got no problem with all this. However, about 3 years ago, a buddy of mine was getting married, and I was invited to the bachelor party. This was to include going to the strip club. I did tell Stacy about this at the time in order to see where she stood on the issue. She was honest and told me she didn't want me to go to the strip club because she didn't want me looking at other women naked up close and in person. Well, you know what? Good for you for being honest with her, because you can't expect honesty if you're not going to be honest. So she told you that. You told her. She told you that. Okay, fair enough. You know, a lot of guys would give you crap saying, oh, you're pee-whip, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Again, if you expect her to not do these types of things, you can't go do them yourself. And honestly, bro, you're not missing anything going to the strip clubs and everything. She told me under no circumstances would she ever be okay with me going to the strip club. She's probably assuming, in her mind, it isn't just looking at naked bimbos. It's also getting lap dances and other things if you have cash. I ended up not going to the strip club because I'd never been a big strip club guy, and I also had to admit to myself I would not want her seeing other men naked either. Or other things with naked men. Okay, so I'm going to read that again. She told me under no circumstances would she ever be okay with me going to a strip club. Okay, you heard that part. Let's tuck that away, and we'll come back to that in about 4 or 5 minutes. Last year, one of Stacy's best friends got engaged, and 3 weeks ago, she went to a bachelorette party. Okay, so this is for a friend, not her. I was told that it would just be drinking and having a good time. After my fiancée came home, there was no change in her behavior, so I thought everything was fine. A week ago, I was in the living room while she was taking a shower. Our cat was doing something funny, and I wanted to snap a quick picture. I remember my phone was in the bedroom, but hers was sitting right on the couch. So I grabbed it to take a picture, something I've done before. After I snapped the photo, a text message from her friend popped up and caught my eye. It said, "That was a crazy night," or "That night was crazy. Curiosity got the best of me and I snooped. The crazy night in question, the bachelorette party. Apparently one of the things they've done is go to a strip club with male strippers." How about that? Because 3 years earlier, she made abundantly clear, we all heard this, that under no certain terms or no circumstances, whatever the hell she said, does she want him going to a strip club for the bachelor party. Here we are, fast forward 3 years, and oh, look what she's doing. Right? And worse yet, you find out this way. She didn't tell you, had no intention of telling you, and was acting all cool, and everything was great when she came home. Oh, that's a problem. I read back her messages going back and forth before the event to see if she knew that they would be going to the strip club, but I couldn't find anything suggesting that she did or did not know. I also didn't find anything to suggest any cheating or anything went on. This wasn't a private party held at a strip club, so I'm not suspicious any cheating went on. Oh, bro, I hope you're right, but I was upset because she made it clearly to me she felt like going to a strip club was wrong for someone in a relationship. Well, here's the deal. That happened 3 years ago, and you didn't go. And now 3 years later, she's now engaged. What happens when guys give women certainty, like a ring on their finger? They think, oop, I got this guy. I now can pull bullshit. I can now say and do things I normally wouldn't because this guy obviously is so into me, he's going to propose. It's unfortunate that my knee-jerk reaction is to say that and to think that, but we know. Women know that they got a guy. That's when more bullshit happens. But when the guy, they're not quite sure about him or how he feels or how sure his commitment and dedication is, they're less likely to pull bullshit because they know he can walk. But now you got a serious amount of time invested in her. You live together, rings on her finger, right? I was upset because she made it clear, blah, blah, blah. The way she talked about it made me seem like she almost viewed it as like a form of cheating, and yet she was the one who went to see other men strip. Another issue I have is that she did not tell me as she had done it that night. I did confront her after she got out of the shower. Good for you. I'm glad you didn't just sweep this under the rug. This is a problem. I can say one good thing. She didn't cry or whine about her privacy being invaded or anything like that, though I would not have felt bad if she did. No. You had every right to look at this point. She apologized profusely and said she didn't know that they were going ahead of time, and it's someone she had known for a long time, and she just couldn't leave. So we can debate back and forth on that one. Okay, one that she didn't know. I have a very hard time believing she didn't know. I also might add, I'm willing to bet you 3 years ago that she was friends with some of these girls, and she probably told at least one of them, if not all, when they all get together and they're all clucking like hens, that you wanted to go to a bachelor party and she forbid you to go because of blah, blah, blah. I'm sure some of these girls knew, and yet here we are. Now, if she went to this thing, she truly did not know, okay? And they're all out hanging out, and the one girl's like, the maid of honor's like, oh, by the way, we're going to the strip club, and she's like, fuck. And they don't want to ruffle feathers and all that, and felt in an awkward position. Maybe, perhaps, on some level, I could get that, because I've been in that situation. Now, I'll come back to that in a second here, with my friend, who didn't know either, and then came home and told you immediately. That'd be one thing, right? Or she went out and then didn't go at all, at a principle for you, and then told you. That also I'd have no problem with. But the fact that she went and was there and was quiet about it and didn't tell you, and the only way you found out was because of this, and her friends knew about it, these are problems, and we're not done yet. I told her I didn't think she'd accept that excuse from me, that she would expect me to leave in the same situation, and that she could have left and come home. She did get a bit defensive at times. She's no place to be defensive. Saying things like it was just innocent fun. Oh, okay, because it was going to be just innocent fun for him looking at naked bimbos dancing around. but now she's saying it's innocent fun. Another red flag, another strike on her. I asked her if strip clubs are so innocent, why was she against me going, and she said she knows she's being a hypocrite. Another red flag. I asked her why she didn't tell me, and she said she knew I'd get mad, but she did plan to tell me eventually. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. He says in parentheses, I don't believe her. I don't believe her either, bro. She was not going to tell you. She did apologize to me, and she asked me if she and I were okay, and I said yes. Of course she apologized, and no, you're not okay. I wouldn't have told her yes. Smack. Delayed smack. That was a lie. Things are not okay, and for the past week, they haven't been at all. I feel hurt and betrayed by her, and my trust in her has been damaged. You're darn right you're hurt and betrayed. You have every right to be hurt and betrayed. And I'm sticking to the fact that she's comfortable in the relationship. No, she knows you ain't going anywhere, so she's pulling bullshit. And I'm sticking to that her friends knew about the whole incident a few years ago. They didn't care. She seems remorseful, but I feel like this is probably only due to being caught. I did try to act normal around her this past week, but she could tell something was up. Dude, don't even try to fucking fake it. Women are so goddamn good at reading men, reading people, much better than we are most of the time. She knows something's up. She knows the slightest change in your behavior, she knows. Yesterday we had an argument because she tried to initiate sex, and I just haven't been in the mood lately with her since I found out, so I politely turned her down. The thing is, we have a great sex life. It is incredibly rare for us to go more than a day without sex even after all these years. Well, that's good. That's something good in this situation. For the past week, I haven't tried to initiate. She's tried twice, and the second time was the last night. Yeah, because you're picturing a lot of things going on here at her strip club. So she got upset and said she knows something is wrong because we weren't intimate all week. That I haven't once tried to even have sex with her or request oral from her. She wanted to know what the problem was, and I told her I was still upset and having second thoughts about our future. Oh boy, here we go. Mount Vesuvius. Ah! She took this in for a few seconds before she started crying. Get your canoe out because your house is about to be full. So much water coming from the tears in her eyes, you're going to need a canoe to get around your house. She kept apologizing and saying she would do anything to make it up to me. Now she's worried the engagement's off. She asked what it would take to make things right. Well, get down on all fours, honey. She asked me what she could do to make things right, and I said I don't know at the moment. I was having a hard time trusting her. She said she will dedicate herself to earning my trust back. You could have fun with that. At this point, I don't know what to do. I do love her and feel like this is not a deal breaker like cheating. I'm just hurt and frustrated and don't know what to do. Her friend did text me earlier today, apologizing and saying she should have told Stacy in advance that they would not be going to the strip club. A little late. If she would have come home after all that and told you immediately, and her friend messaged you about it saying that this is my fault, it was my idea, I didn't realize, blah, 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 we'd be having a different conversation here, but this is damage control at this point. I decided that later today when she gets home from work, I'm going to ask her to show me her phone. The reason for this is I want to look at her texts with her friend so I can read some of their conversation from today because I feel I might help answer the question of if Stacy truly was in the dark or if she knew in advance. If she truly was in the dark, I feel like there will be some sort of apology from her friend, and if she knew in advance, I feel like the only reason her friend would specifically tell me otherwise is if Stacy told her to tell me that. So I think this conversation will tell me whether or not she truly knew. And if the conversation is deleted or she refuses to hand over her phone, I will know she's hiding something. Bro, she's been hiding plenty, and she's still hiding, I guarantee you. None of that, you wouldn't know about this if you didn't borrow her phone to take a picture of your cat. I've already decided that if she knew in advance, it is definitely a deal breaker for me. If she truly didn't know, I feel like I can get past it eventually if she puts in the work to help me get over this. Well, I'll say what I'm thinking in a minute. I do always try to look for the bright side of things, so while we heal and mend, trust I will definitely be taking advantage of her. I will do anything, promise. Things will be interesting in the bedroom for the foreseeable future. I will try to keep you updated. If you don't hear from me in a few days, That means it turned out that she did indeed know about the strip club in advance. In that case, I will perhaps try to shoot you an update in a month or two to let you know how things are going. Of course, if I do find something suspicious on the phone, I will let you know ASAP. Thank you. Okay, dude. I've been holding off what I wanted to say for the last 15 minutes. But like I said before, bro, it would have been one thing if after this went down, she immediately came home and told you, or even got on the fucking phone and said, I'm out the thing, and they drag us here to the bachelorette party, to a strip club, and I didn't know, and I'm sorry, and I'm coming home, and then her friend told you she's sorry too. That would have been one thing. Then I could get on board with that, you know? Or if she did go to the thing because she felt really awkward and blah, 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 and told you immediately, again, we could have a conversation. But the fact that she went and did this, and the only reason you found out is because you just, in that moment, borrowed the phone to take a picture of your cat, and in that moment, the text came up. And guess what? Why would they be texting about this, how wild it was and everything, is if things went more than her just looking at a bunch of dudes dancing around with their dicks hanging out. I think more things happened there than she's letting on for her friend to be texting, about the wild night or some bullshit like that. You caught her. That's the only reason you found out. And this whole nonsense, like, I was going to tell you, bullshit. Anyway, she was going to wait till there was a ring on her finger that you married her. Then she'll tell you, because guess what? Getting out of the marriage is difficult. She knew darn well how you react. She didn't care. And 3 years ago, she's giving you shit, and you stood by that, and you respected that. And look what she did to you. And also the fact that, what else do we have here? Oh, the fact that she started getting defensive, giving you shit, and saying it was harmless fun. Oh, okay, but 3 years earlier, throwing a temper tantrum when I was going to have harmless fun. And she's a big hypocrite, and she knows it. And I might add that her friends, I'm sure one of them knew that you would have a problem with this because years earlier she gave you shit. So I don't see a lot of good things here. And the reason you're not wanting to touch her, aside from imagining her mouth and some dude, well, you get the point, is that you don't trust her. You can't marry a woman you don't have trust for. It's not going to work. That is a keystone in any relationship, man. So you could have this conversation with her, and she, I guarantee you, has practiced plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D in the event that this goes further with you. Probably there'll be deleted messages on the phone like you thought of. So if it was me, I'd be having some serious second thoughts about this whole thing, man. You know, the disrespect and everything like that, her lying, her hiding it, all that type of stuff. Now, let me tell you a quick story about me and a situation I was in with my friend who was getting married. In 2013, my friend got married in the summertime. Smack. And he's a married relationship guy. And in the spring of 2013, he was having a bachelor party in Boston. His best man from New Hampshire was throwing this party, and there were 5 of us. My friend who was getting married is the most straight-laced, Puritan type of guy you're going to meet. He, trust me, zero interest in strip clubs, dancers, bimbos, lap dances, all that stuff. And the plan was we were going to get together in Boston on a Saturday night. We were going to go have a great steak dinner, go bar hopping at some old watering holes. We used to go hang out when he was a single guy, crash in a hotel room that night so we don't have to drive home or take the train back home and leave. Well, the best man informs me after we all got together in the first bar to hang out that, oh, by the way, after dinner we're going over to the strip club, you know, and immediately I'm thinking, he's not going to like this. And sure enough, we go, and my friend didn't like it. But because all the other guys were like, yeah, because they were married and everything, he went along with it because he wanted to be a party pooper. And so we went in there, we looked at naked bimbos and everything like that, and a few guys got lap dances and all that, and we left. And, of course, nothing happened. He wasn't interested in lap dances. He wasn't interested in gun, but he went along because his bros did. And he said to me, I'm going to go home, because when I go home, I'm going to tell his fiancée. And he did. And she wasn't mad because she knows darn well that his friend wanted to do this, and she believed him. So great. And I might add, she didn't have a bachelorette party at all. So I could see in this situation where, you know, they sprung it on her and she didn't know, and you know, she didn't want to be a party pooper, make a big scene, but then went along fine, and then immediately told you. That'd been one thing, but that's not the case. I just don't buy it. That's the case. I think she knew in advance, or, the fact that she didn't tell you about it and all her defensive bullshit and everything, just not good to me. My gut, just like your gut is telling you something seriously wrong, my gut is telling me something wrong. So I would really, regardless of what you get from her phone, your conversation with her, I would really do some soul searching and think about this now. And I promise you, you are going to get the waterworks like you wouldn't believe. And if you decide, you know what, this just isn't right, I'm not going to marry you, or I'm going to at least hold off for a while, prepare to get bombarded. Bombarded from the waterworks from her. It's going to be Niagara Falls and Victoria Falls and all the other falls around the fucking planet of water coming out on your floor for crying. Prepare to get bombarded with messages and nasty shit from her friends, your friends, mutual friends, your family, her family, the FedEx driver, Elon Musk, anybody else that they can jump in on the fucking thing, give you shit about. And if you don't want to marry her after all this stuff, telling you it ain't right, and it ain't just about the strip club, it's other things there, then don't do it. And it will be hard with everybody else bombarding you with comments, and everybody, of course, everybody has to have an opinion, giving you shit, but you gotta do what's best for you. You're a grown-ass man, you're 38 years old, I'm assuming you've never been married before. You don't need her. You're in your prime, dude. You don't have to be married, and you gotta have someone you can trust. And if you can't trust her, you sure as hell shouldn't be putting a ring on that. Yes, you had spent 6 years of your life with her. Yes, you're not living together. That could be awkward. But you know what? It's a lot better to end things now and go your separate ways before you put a ring on your finger, an official one, and get married to her. So that's what I think. So do your homework, handle this well, and I really hope it works out for you. But I'm sorry it happened, but I can't say I'm surprised. So guys, please chime in. Give our guy here some comments what you think about this. You may not agree with my take on it. That's fine. That, it is what it is. But that's what I think. So we have a guy here. He needs some help here. We don't want to make a wrong decision. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. I went through all that. You obviously are going to comment. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.